In this particular session we're going to look at reading answers from the Svantek noise dosimeter during a run, perhaps partway through the day at lunchtime to see how things have gone so far, or waiting until the end when we retrieve the dosimeter to see what the overall noise dose has been for the day. So the first thing we need to do is to start the run going. We do this by pressing the down button and the right button together as indicated by the symbol here to begin our measurements. So just press the two buttons to begin the measurement. Now in this particular case the dosimeter has gone straight to the locked keyboard. This is a security issue. This makes sure that when the dosimeter is fitted on the worker and you walk away, that the worker can't see what's going on and can't access the dosimeter and potentially change things or play around with it. So only if the appropriate keystrokes are pressed will the dosimeter become unlocked. So let's unlock the dosimeter and see where we're up to so far. We have four small boxes on the screen here that correspond to a combination of button presses. By default the unlock code is to press the down button, the right button, the enter button and the down button, and that will unlock it. So let me do that on the keypad. Down, right, enter, down. And now you can see that the keypad is unlocked. We are able to see the results here. Let's just review what we are looking at here. So this is dosimeter 1. We are data logging. We're about a minute and a half into our measurement. The unit is running. We're currently looking at the percentage noise dose for the run according to the OSHA hearing conservation settings. As a reminder, this is using a threshold of 80 dB, an exchange rate of 5 dB and a criterion for our 100% dose at 90 dB. So if we want to see the other dosimeter results, because the SV104 actually is 3 dosimeters in a single unit, we are currently looking at the primary dosimeter, which is dosimeter 1 here, the OSHA hearing conservation settings. To look at the others, we press the right key, which takes us to dosimeter number 2, the OSHA permitted exposure level, threshold of 90 this time, exchange rate of 5, criterion of 90 again. And since it's fairly quiet in here, we haven't exceeded either 80 or 90 dB for this test, so our dose is currently reading 0. Let's just go to the third dosimeter by pressing the right button again here, and we'll see that for dosimeter 3 the setup name is the ACGIH settings. Here we have a threshold of 80, an exchange rate of 3 dB this time, and a criterion for our 100% noise dose of 85 dB. So one more press of the right arrow key will bring us back to our primary dosimeter in profile number 1 here. So this is how we get around the 3 dosimeters. This button just simply takes us between dosimeter 1, dosimeter 2, dosimeter 3 and back to dosimeter 1. To look at the different answers on screen, we use the down button. So the down button changes us from the straight current dose value. Pressing it once takes us to the 8-hour projected dose, also at 0 since it's fairly quiet in the room at the moment. Down again takes us to the projected dose value. This is the answer where we could tell the dosimeter to make calculations for a work time of different than 8 hours, maybe a 10-hour day, 12-hour day in the exposure time setting, and it would calculate a projected dose for us different from the standard 8 hours. Down again, this is our L average value, again just 0 dB because we haven't exceeded the threshold of 80 at the moment. The LEQ has no threshold applied to it, so this is the actual noise level in the area where we're making these tests at the moment, and the current ongoing reading after about 4.5 minutes now has reached 66.3. So we can toggle through the results by just simply pressing the down key, and this will take us through all of the results that we have enabled on the display using the setup procedure in the supervisor software. Let's get back round to the sound level just to see the current sound level as we're going through. So we call this display the main display, but we have other displays for the information too. By pressing the enter button during a run, we can change from 1 result per screen to 3 results per screen. So here we see the minimum value, the current value, and the dose value. Clicking the down button will step us through the values as we saw before. Pressing the right button will take us from dosimeter 1 to dosimeter 2 to dosimeter 3 and back to dosimeter 1 again. Pressing the down arrow a further time, if we have it fitted in our dosimeter, we'll bring up the 1 octave spectrum to see the noise level frequency content in terms of the accumulated average level. This is the LEQ spectrum with the frequency bands from 31 Hz, 63, 125 and so on up to 8 kHz here. The 3 bands at the end are the A level, the C level and the Z weighted level. So we just move the cursor backwards and forwards, left and right across the screen, using the down key to move left, using the right key to move right. If enabled and selected, we may have also switched on the display of the maximum spectrum. This is the maximum noise level in each of the bands as we are making our measurement, and again the keys underneath the display will move the cursor left and right to enable us to see the band that we've chosen and the current dB value. Further press of the enter key takes us to a status screen where the battery indication is showing here that we have at least 25 hours left. Currently we are on 100% charge, and if we press the down key we'll see a little bit more information about the setup that we're using. This is the instrument reminding us that we are using a setup called Default 3. Profile 1 is the OSHA Hearing Conservation, Profile 2 is the OSHA PEL protocol, and Profile 3 is the ACGIH. There is also information about using a timer. If that is going to be operating, that would tell us that in fact here in this particular dosimeter there is also a timer associated, and in 1 day, 8 hours and 18 minutes time the instrument will wake up and begin a measurement for us automatically. We can go back up through the list, this information back up to our battery status position by just simply pressing the up button to take us back up to the top of this list. The enter button again will then take us to the OSHA screen reading our noise dosimeter values again for us. So if this is lunchtime and we are looking at perhaps stopping the measurement while the worker takes a lunch break, we would press the down and the right keys together to put the instrument into a pause mode. So we press both of the keys together. This puts in the pause screen showing us that we've measured so far for 8 minutes and 44 seconds. We just simply leave the dosimeter now off the worker until he returns from his lunch break and we wish to start measuring again. So when we're ready to continue measuring, we press the right button underneath the continuation indication here. So let's do that. and we pick up from where we left off. So during that pause time, no information is added into the dosimeter. The duration, elapsed time, stops so that all of our calculations end up being correct. We can relock the dosimeter by pressing and holding the left button again. That will lock the keypad so that when we put it on the worker they are not tempted to interfere. And at the end of the day we come back to the dosimeter and stop the recording proper and then read our answers out. So let's do that. Let's just go around and unlock the keypad. Down, right, enter, down. And here's our keypad again. So let's just imagine we're coming up towards 10 minutes of measuring here. Let's just stop this recording. So we stop, and this time we really do want to stop. So we'll press this one, and now we're back into our stop mode. Everything is frozen. We have all of our measurements stored safely for us. We can read the dosimeters using the right button as we did before. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We can read the answers using the down key, going through our list in each of the dosimeter columns.